TNN Motorsports. An all-star field of some of America's best short-track racers get their shot at the big time today, racing before a huge crowd on a Winston Cup weekend at the Phoenix, Arizona Mile. It's the Checker Auto Parts 300 on TNN Motorsports. We're glad you joined us. Hi, welcome. I'm Alan Bestwick, joined by Dr. Dick Berggren, the editor of Stock Car Racing Magazine. When folks think NASCAR, they generally think Winston Cup Series. But NASCAR actually runs 12 different racing series around the country. And, Dick, we've got the best of many of them gathered here in Phoenix today.
We sure do. They came 60 strong to this event, ranging in age from a 17-year-old high school student to a 60-year-old veteran who'd won over 700 races in his career. It's been whittled down to the 42 fastest of them out of California and Idaho, Oregon, Florida, Wisconsin. They have come from all over. Among them, 6 touring champions and men who have won many times on tracks like this, a flat mile oval, and those who have never raced on a track as big and fast as this one.
Let's go trackside and hear now from some of the other drivers or some of the stories who will be making the headlines in this race. Let's start with our 2 pit reporters. Here's Matt Yoakum.
Well, Alan, pole sitter and part-time series campaigner Michael Alsop is back on familiar ground. 2 years ago, he won the pole and nearly won the race, finishing second. Starting alongside his stiff competition, 1998 Northwest Tour champion Gary Lewis. He's chasing a victory and a truck ride for 1999. Both drivers are hoping stellar runs today will help secure rides for 1999 and beyond. Now here's my colleague and good buddy, Glenn Jarrett.
Hey, thanks, Matt. You know, I think the third row in this race offers a great comparison between a rookie and a veteran. Starting 5th is Kurt Busch. He's in the Star Nursery, number 70. He's already wrapped up the Rookie of the Year title this year. He has 1 victory, only 19 starts. This 20-year-old is just on his way to a great racing career. On the outside of him, the consummate veteran of this series, Southwestern Tour former champ, Rick Corelli. He still has the most wins in this series at 20. He's 4th in career earnings. He's won the Copper Classic at Phoenix here 4 times. This guy has gone on to stardom in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Rookie on the inside, veteran on the outside. This veteran out here is where this rookie wants to be. Back up to you, Alan.
All right, Glenn, another one to watch today will be Scott Hansen. Starting in 10th position, he's won this race 3 years straight. The Wisconsin veteran, one of the favorites in the Checker 300 at Phoenix. We're back for the start in a minute.
Mobil 1 synthetic motor oil. Even at 35 degrees below zero, nothing outperforms Mobil 1.
Chef Paul of Bowman's makes the best steaks in town, the Herald. Chef Paul is the maestro of marinade, the Herald. Chef Paul's reputation is built on his marinade alone, the Herald.
Chef Paul's secret ingredient is actually A1.
Chef Paul questioned about missing assistant, the Herald. The secret to great steak isn't just for great steakhouses anymore. A1, a marinade, a seasoning, a 136-year-old secret.
Coffee.
Easy.
NyQuil.
Relief. So we'll wake up to a good morning. Honey.
Happy anniversary! It's the NyQuil 30th, and we're topping our good mornings with spectacular ones. Win our $30,000 Good Morning Getaway. To enter, identify this famous voice.
NyQuil, the nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head fever, so you can rest and have a good morning medicine.
Where do you want to wake up? Details where you buy NyQuil.
Where'd it go? The year's almost over. Wasn't this the year things were going to be different? You were going to pay off all those credit cards, get out of debt, and stop worrying so much. Well, now you've got a brand new year. Call the Money Store. Get a home loan. Get back on track. You'll have a check in your hands in no time at all. A brand new year. A brand new start.
The Money Store. 1-800-LOAN-YES.
We're back at Phoenix International Raceway as the NASCAR Featherlight Southwest Series gets set to go in the Checker 300. Field on the racetrack now, beginning their pace laps, 42 strong. Let's take a look at how they'll run today. Bakersfield, California's Michael Alsop on the pole, third career pole in the Southwest Series, kind of seeking an upset win. Gary Lewis, the Northwest Series champion, on the outside of the front row. Florida's Ronnie Burkett from the Southeastern Slim Jim All-Pro Circuit starts third, with Garrett Evans, a three-time Northwest Series champion, starting in the outside of row 2. The 98 Rookie of the Year is in row 3. Kurt Busch outside. Rick Corelli, Truck Series star and four-time Phoenix winner. Row 4 is Kevin Harvick, the Winston West point leader. Jim Englebright, winner on the Pikes Peak Mile earlier this year. Row 5 is local favorite Darrell Lamore from Phoenix and the outlaw Scott Hansen driving Ken Schrader's car. Row 6, Wisconsin's Brian Hoppy, the REMAX Series runner-up, and Dennis Dyer, 8th in Southwest Series points. Row 7, John Metcalf, one of 4 drivers in a tight fight for the Series championship coming into this race. And Washington State's Tom Sweatman. 8-time Series winner Doug McCown's in row 8 alongside Washington's Rick Allison. Portland local track champ Darren Shaw's in row 9 alongside M.K. Kanke, second in points in the Southwest Series. Colorado's Bruce Yackey and Mark Reed of Bakersfield in row 10. Jason Fensler of California, former Northwest champ John Dillon of Boise, Idaho in row 11. You look further on down into the field, there's Craig Rodman in row 14. He's a strong runner on the Southwest Series. Bob Lyon has started more races on this division than any other driver in its history. Down to the back of the field, Damon Lusk is a youngster who's looking to make a name for himself in the sport. He's got big plans for next year. And the drivers at the back of the field had to make their way into this event through a qualifying race that was held here a day ago, and it turned out to be kind of a wild rock'em sock'em event. So 42 strong, they get ready to go racing at Phoenix this afternoon. We take a look at the championship standings in a very close race for the Southwest Series title entering this event.
Now, Portgay is a previous champion in this series. He doesn't have much of a cushion. He says he's going to try to run a little bit conservative today and try to protect whatever he can. Germoni in third spot. He had a bit of trouble qualifying. He'll start deep in the field.
So you see just 84 points between 4 drivers. This is the second to last race of the season for the Featherlight Southwest Series. Now our race analysis, some of the facts and figures on the day. 186 laps will be the distance at Phoenix this afternoon. There you see the race record Scott Hansen set in this race 1 year ago, a little bit better than 97 miles an hour the average. Some $10,000 of that $90,000 the winner will take home at the conclusion of the afternoon's racing. We will ride with a number of drivers throughout the course of their race this afternoon. We start with Damon Lusk in the America Online machine. He's a little deep in the field. Youngster from the Washington area starting back there. Now we move up to Jim Englebright starting in the 8th position in the Jelly Belly Wonder Bar car.
You can already see some glare this afternoon. That will be a factor in the race as the sun begins to go down over the first turn.
Rick Corelli will take us for a ride this afternoon. 4-time Phoenix winner, star of the Truck Series, winningest competitor ever in this Featherlight Southwest Series. Will be on board with Rick and the REMAX team throughout the afternoon. And up to the inside of row 2, that is young Floridian Ronnie Burkett. Going to give us a ride at Phoenix as he tries to go against the best of the Northwest and Southwest and Midwest. And the driver made the haul all the way to Phoenix from Florida to see what he could do this afternoon. Should be a good race. There you see the breakdown on what kinds of cars are in the field. 35 Chevys, 4 Pontiacs, and a few Fords. And that is the setting now as we get set to go. This is usually a very exciting race. Should be a lot of fun. 42 drivers strong now behind the pace truck as it comes off the racetrack behind the wall. 186 laps the distance on the Phoenix Mile and the Checker 300. Time to go racing. Northwest Series champion for 1998. Second, third, and fourth, nose to tail into the corner.
good. Scott Hansen, who's won the last 3 of these races in a row so far, has said the bottom lane will be the fast part of this racetrack early on, but he says it'll move up. That's Hansen, number 33 on your screen. Ken Schrader, the Winston Cup car driver, is the owner of that car, and he's also the spotter crew chief this afternoon. He's in Hansen's ear.
There's Jim Engelbright, you ride with, trying to pick up the position. Engelbright riding 9th, trying to get 8th away from Kevin Harvick. Harvick slides wide in 1. Engelbright slips underneath.
Harvick won last week at Mesa Marin, a small racetrack, in this very same car. Moved it out here, and he's running well this afternoon.
Still racing with Harvick door to door. Engelbright inside in the 20. Harvick topside in the 75. One car being black flagged. It's Kevin Quesnel, the Yakima, Washington driver. Started the race back in 36th position. He's been shown the black flag the last couple of times by.
Harvick at the 75 is already showing his toughness. He's not a regular in this series. He's not in it for the points, as are many of the other drivers. He said the only thing he has to do is win this thing.
Change for second. Garrett Evans goes by. The pole sitter, Alsop, sliding back in the 61 car. Going to lose 3rd, maybe going to lose 4th. Here's Corelli up to his inside off 4.
Alsop said he was going to take it easy at the beginning of this race and just make sure he stayed out of trouble, and then at the tail end of it he was going to make his charge. A lot of rookies in this event, and the veterans like Alsop are concerned as to how those rookies might behave. They are trying to stay away from the guys with the yellow back bumpers. They are the rookies.
There you see the interval between the leader, Gary Lewis, and Garrett Evans, the second place runner, who begins to feel a challenge from Ronnie Burkett. Burkett in the 31. Based just outside of Orlando in Sorrento, Florida. He's been running for Rookie of the Year on the NASCAR Slim Jim All-Pro Series. Runs predominantly in the southeastern U.S. Had a couple of engine problems the last couple of races there that have kind of dropped him back in his bid for the rookie title. And now we move back as Alsop in the 61 continues to get shuffled back in the standings.
He hadn't planned to go that far back.
I don't think so.
Not this early.
I don't think so. As they come to the stripe, Alsop was running 5th last lap. Now he's back in 7th, so a couple of more spots. He has given up, and we watch Scott Hansen running 7th now, begin to try and work on Kevin Harvick for 6th. If it's happened in these type race cars, somewhere in the United States, Scott Hansen has shown up, often taking the checkered flag home with him. Garrett Evans in the 64 and Burkett in the 31. Evans is a story all in himself. Very competitive Northwestern Series that NASCAR sanctions. Runs up in Washington and Oregon and the Montana, Idaho areas. Garrett Evans has 46 wins and 3 championships in that kind of racing. Very impressive.
What a ride he's had in the last few weeks. He's raced in Washington, went from there to Idaho where he won, went to Rockford, Illinois where he didn't qualify, went to Concord, North Carolina, then to Nashville, then to here, home 2 days, and he's off to Vegas.
Back and forth all the way across the country in search of victory lane. Garrett Evans of Arden, I knew I was going to hang on that. Arden, Washington. Go ahead, say it 3 times fast.
I can't say it. I can't say it 1 time slow.
Riding with Rick Corelli as he works turns 3 and 4 at the Phoenix International Raceway, running in 4th spot right now. Trying to stay in contact with the leaders. Look at the visibility there as they head down that front straightaway. Sun and glare will be a very big issue as we move to the later laps of this race as the drivers try and feel their way into that very tough turn number 1. Washington's Gary Lewis is the leader, started on the outside of the front row. He's paced the first 9 circuits thus far. We're still very early, though, in this Checker 300 at Phoenix.
What's for lunch?
Cranberry and jelly.
Ham and cheese.
Another day.
Morning, boys.
How
are you?
Morning, Mr. France.
Nice looking shirt you got on.
America. And get $2,500.
They are looking sharp. Right you are, Chuck.
There's the green, and the chase is on.
Chase Authentics Apparel.
That's why it's called the Intimidator.
The chase is on.
It's a fight to the finish.
Congratulations. Thanks, sir. Had a good run today.
Yeah, thanks a million.
Nice check.
Nice shirt.
Yeah, thanks. You too.
Thank you. Now, the ultimate in extreme crash action has twice the excitement in its exclusive new 2-video set, Awesome Crashes and Motorcycle Madness. This action-packed set features some of the most awesome and devastating crashes you've ever seen. From the outlaw sprint cars to superbikes and powerboats, Awesome Crashes is just what the name says. Awesome. And if you want motorcycle crashes, look no further. Motorcycle Madness has bone-chilling 2-wheel crashes that'll make your spine tingle. You get both action-packed crash videos for the incredible price of only $19.95. But if you order within the next 30 minutes, we'll include Eat Dirt, absolutely free. It's just what the name says, and it's free if you order now. You get all 3 incredible videos for the price of one, a $60 value. Yours for the next 30 minutes for only $19.95. The clock is ticking, so call now. To order, call 1-800-766-1001. That's 1-800-766-1001. Or send check or money order to the address shown. That's 1-800-766-1001. Call now.
Nice albums. CDs. You sound like Dad. They're from
kickoff with the Oilers leading the Vikings 13-8 for only the second time this year. The Vikings did not score a touchdown in the first half. And the kickoff by Hendrick, bounding at the 5, fielded by David Palmer. David Palmer to the 20-yard line and is stopped in his tracks at the...
Play from Columbia House. Call 800-414-9300 or watch your mail.
Back at Phoenix, you're looking at the top 2 in the Checker 300. Gary Lewis on the left in the 72. Garrett Evans behind him in the 64. Those 2 drivers, both from the state of Washington, running a car length apart, 11 laps into the event. Caution is on the speedway. 1 car around over in turn number 2. That is Nick Joannides. He's a 27-year-old from Woodland Hills, California. Brings out the first caution of the race with a spin over in the second corner. Now, a minute ago before we went to the break, we mentioned the pole winner Michael Alsop was falling back. You can see his problems have compounded since then. Matt Yoakum is on pit road with a report.
Allen also brought the car slowly down pit road. Fluid leaking from the rear of the machine. The crew took the hood off. Looking underneath, there might have been maybe a loose oil line. They're checking to see if that might have been it. But right now, it looks like their day is done. A tough, tough break for the pole sitter, Michael Alsop.
I would imagine that when you come into a race having qualified so well and you don't run a full schedule in a series, as Alsop doesn't, you come in here with such high hopes of maybe pulling off the upset win. To go out this early would be very devastating.
Well, he needed it as well. This is only his 7th start of 1998. It's a team that doesn't have a lot of funding. When they come to win, so they save their pennies, and they'd saved a lot of them for this event. And had they a good day here, it would have meant they could have gone on and raced some more. But now they're going to have to pay some bills instead.
Caution for the first time. You're looking at leader Gary Lewis. Lewis from up in the Washington State area, Bothell, Washington, to be specific, 29-year-old. He's the 1998 Ray Bestis Northwest Series champion of NASCAR and had himself quite a spectacular year.
Sure did. He won 6 out of 16 on the way to winning that championship. Also won 6 poles. But the thing that's really interesting about him is that this is just his 2nd time ever at Phoenix. And look at him out front.
Having a great run is Gary Lewis. We are under caution early in the Checker 300 at Phoenix International Raceway. Nick Joannides spun in turn 2. We'll be back for the restart in a minute.
To prove the power of interstate batteries, today I'm racing the family cruiser with my family and a couple of close friends. Currently, we're running 3rd. Make that 2nd and the battery's doing just fine. Joe and Norm are catching a few rays. Junior's enjoying a race of his own. And looky there, my wife's getting a full makeover. Heck, we got us a regular family outing here.
Interstate, the official battery of the family car.
Flip.
Hi, I'm Maximum Protection, the authority for Napa Gold filters. Today's driving conditions are severe, with frequent stopping and road dirt. But I hold 45% more dirt than the leading national brand. And that's important, because I help your engine last longer. So put me to work and get the maximum protection of Napa Gold filters.
Napa, over 200,000 parts, and everyone's important.
Back at Phoenix International Raceway, wrapping up the first caution of the Checker 300. Nick Joannides spun, single car incident in turn 2. He drove away, and we get set to go back racing now with Gary Lewis leading Garrett Evans, Ronnie Burkett, Rick Corelli, and Jim Engelbright. the 5th position as one car gets up high in turn 1 and 2. That is the 26 of Zach Neisner. Looks like he has continued, but is definitely not up to speed and is slowing down the backside of the course. Watching Garrett Evans in the 64 try and take the lead away from Gary Lewis. Riding with Ronnie Burkett, the 3rd place driver, looking ahead at the front 2.
John Dillon, the Northwest Tour champion from a few years back, has just gone into the pit area. He's having car trouble.
And Michael Alsop, the pole winner we mentioned a while ago on pit road, he has gone back behind the wall. Also behind the wall is Kevin Quesnel. We mentioned earlier he got black flagged in the first few laps. He is just returning to the race now after spending a good bit of time getting repairs made to his machine. Riding with Rick Corelli, running in 4th right now. That's Burkett just ahead of him.
Corelli knows this racetrack ever so well. Got a lot of confidence in this race car, built back in 1994. He's run it at Phoenix here a whole bunch of times. Won this race with it in 1994, 3rd in it last year, 2nd in 1995. And he didn't use this car, but he was 3rd in 89 as well in one of these Southwest Series races.
There's Corelli running in 4th. Burkett just ahead of him in 3rd. As they go down the backside of this course, looking ahead to the front 2, top left of your screen. That's Lewis out in front, Evans right behind him. Trouble in turn 1. Oh, hard crash in the corner. 3 drivers involved. The first one to go around is Steve Petty in the 0-1. Then as he heads up to the outside wall, the 32.
John
Bellum gets involved. And the caution waves for the 2nd time in the race. A couple of other cars involved. Looks like the Scott Busby car has been into the incident. And also John Baker involved. There you see Busby driving away.
A lot of smoke poured off the back of that car. You can see body damage toward the right rear quarter. He'll have to go to the pits and fix that.
Tough break for Petty and for Bellum.
Yep, Bellum had gotten into this thing through the consolation race last night. He did a great job avoiding the several wrecks that occurred in that thing, but not a great job avoiding this wreck. Sometimes you can't avoid them all.
And Steve Petty in the 0-1, the other car involved with the significant part of the contact up in the 1st and 2nd corners. Take a look and see if we can figure out what happened here.
That's already underway at this point.
That's Petty down the bottom. Back up.
And that's where it hurts, right there. He almost made it through, didn't he?
Tough. Take a look at it from another angle. Petty up the racetrack, and there's Bellum. No place to go. Looks like he got him about in the left rear wheel there, and Busby came in afterwards with the track blocked also. Tough break. Caution for the 2nd time in the race as those cars sit up in turns 1 and 2. Multi-car accident slows the checker 300. It is Gary Lewis and Garrett Evans, the top 2, still in the early going.
$250?
What? Want to get away? A scratch. Everywhere a scratch. And they're all an eyesore. What you need is GS27 Scratch Remover. It's new from Duralube. GS27 gets rid of those surface scratches and paint swirls quickly and easily. Simply rub GS27 into the scratch, then polish it to a beautiful finish. The scratch is gone.
I still can't believe it was that easy. GS27 got rid of those scratches in less than a minute. It's great.
GS27 is not an abrasive. It's a superfine microscopic crystallite that works its way into the scratch and polishes it away. And look, you don't have to go crazy trying to match colors. That same tube of GS27 works wonders on any color car. You have to see it to believe it. Amazing!
The repair shop said it had to sand, prime, and paint. What a bunch of bull. GS27 took that ugly scratch away in no time.
Watch. Would you do this to a brand new car? Ouch! But GS27 removes that ugly scratch quickly and easily. What a difference! GS27 is so effective, it'll even remove paint scrapes, ugly rust from chrome bumpers, and scratches and scrapes from your boat's gel coat. GS27 is only $14.95. But wait! Order now and get a second tube for only $5. That's 2 for just $19.95. It'll remove those surface scratches from your car or your money back. Don't live with those ugly scratches and don't spend a fortune to remove them. Order your GS27 Scratch Remover now.
Call toll-free 1-800-926-1771 or send check or money order for $14.95 for one or $19.95 for two, plus $5.95 shipping to GS27, 1000 Apex Street, Department GS, Nashville, Tennessee. Or use your credit card and call 1-800-926-1771.
Back at Phoenix as the cleanup wraps up from the caution flag, the multi-car accident up in 1 and 2. All the drivers out of their cars and basically okay. Let's go to pit road to Matt Yoakum.
Alan, a few moments ago, for the 6th time this caution flag, the contender, Scott Hansen, came down pit road with brake problems. The crew has continued to work on this car. There's some kind of leak in the master cylinder area. They continue to work on it. They think they might have it fixed, but he's got to come back down pit road one more time so the crew can put the hood back on.
That's big. Hansen, the man who's won this race the last 3 straight years, is in trouble in the early going.
Yep. In 5 starts, his worst finish is 2nd.
Wow.
Unbelievable. He's doing real well here.
And Hansen is back on pit road again to have that hood put on as the field comes into turns 3 and 4 to get the green flag. A couple of Northwest Series regulars for NASCAR from Washington State. Gary Lewis and Garrett Evans in the top 2 spots in this race, with Ronnie Burkett from Florida, Rick Corelli from Colorado, and Kevin Harvick from Bakersfield, California right behind them. Green flag, we're back under the way.
Harvick making a move on the inside. In the 75. Corelli in the 6. Harvick's got it done.
That is 4th position. So Harvick, the winner of the last race for the Southwest Series, Bakersfield, California, now up trying to do it again. Takes over the 4th position as Corelli gets shuffled back to 5th. Right behind Corelli is Jim Engelbright in the 20. The 51 car behind him is Brian Hoppy from Wisconsin in 7th. Engelbright in 6th as you ride with him here. There's Hoppy out the back window. Talk about a guy who's had his share of heartbreak this season. Hoppy had a great season on NASCAR's REMAX Challenge Series through the Midwest and lost the championship ever so close.
2 points, just 2 points. Steve Melchin beat him by. It's his first race here ever. Brian Hoppy in the number 51 car.
Trying to find a way underneath Engelbright. As the lead, still very tight. Lewis in the 72, Evans in the 64. Just a few feet apart as they hit turn 3.
Garrett Evans, a strong racer. 46 career wins in the Northwest Series with 37 poles. He wins and he wins and he wins.
Trying to stay with Lewis. These 2 drivers have shown this scene to many throughout the 1998 summer months up in the Northwest. Lewis, the champion of the Ray Bestis Northwest Series this season. Who finished second to him? Garrett Evans.
Yeah. Lewis raced a lot at Evergreen Speedway in Washington State. In '86, he won the Bomber Championship there. In '92, he won the Superstock Championship there. But what's really interesting about Evergreen is they run when it rains. Rain or shine, they race there, no matter what the division. They put windshield wipers on the car. Well, you know how much it rains in Washington State.
Yeah, I would suspect.
If you cancel the races every time it rains there, you don't have any races. So he's won in the rain.
Evans eating up Lewis right now. Meantime, the man who we thought would be one of the very favorites to win today is out of his car down on pit road. It's Matt Yoakum.
Alan, Scott Hansen has climbed from the car. Scott, you came down pit road 7 times. You tried to work on it. Have you called it a day?
Yeah, we broke a crossover line on a brake caliper. And, you know, we come out here for one thing, that's to win this race. And to be out there with only 3-wheel brakes, we were going to be a hazard to all these guys that are running for points. So we didn't need to do that and get in their way. So we're just going to call it a short day and hope we have a better day tomorrow in the trucks.
Well, tough break. They were going for their 4th straight victory in this event. Alan?
Good call by Scott Hansen there. Very sportsmanlike call to get out of the way. A lot of guys running for a championship in this series. He's not one of them. So Hansen is retired and out of the race in the early going. Great race for 3rd coming down the backstretch and headed for turn 3. That's Kevin Harvick in the 75 working inside of Ronnie Burkett.
He's going to get him. 22 years old, this guy, Harvick. They call him the kid.
Boy, look at Burkett's car wiggle.
Yeah.
He's got his hands full out there.
You don't see Harvick's car wiggling.
Here's Rick Corelli looking down to the inside of Burkett as Burkett tries to take the high line and stay with Harvick in 1. racing for third position. Harvick inside, Burkett outside, Corelli right behind them. You see the leaders up ahead. That's a great look as Burkett's car just kind of drifts all over the place up off turn 4, and yet he hangs it out there, hangs onto the spot.
That's what's important, hang on to that spot.
We have a car spinning on the front straightaway. It is Kurt Busch, Rookie of the Year for the Southwest Series. He has gone around, brought out the caution flag. He was running 16th at the time of the spin. And the yellow waves for the third time in this Checker 300. There you see the youngster from Las Vegas driving away. Apparently none the worse for wear, didn't hit anything, and nobody hit him. And the caution flag slowing this field one more time. Here's a look at what happened. See if we can do the detective work on Kurt Busch's problem off the corner. That is the 60 car up high. Lance Norrick, the Oklahoma City driver, regular in the Truck Series, and blown engine there or something maybe?
Well, hard to say, but for sure Busch got into something. They all stacked up. Everybody gets close enough together on this big, fast, mile speedway, and something's bound to happen.
Kurt Busch gets it going again, but not before he drops fairly well back in the field. We'll find out where he'll restart in just a minute. Meantime, the field's slowing for a third time in this Checker 300. The Northwesterners leading the way at the moment.
Here's Eddie George. And falling forward, may have enough for the first down.
Been kind of a quiet day for John Randall. Now, I expected to see more movement out of John Randall up and down the line, especially since they lost.
For $50 in tools. Don't miss this great free toolbox offer.
Pep Boys. Cars like us.
People love us. This is how Dale Earnhardt Jr. fans will remember the 1998 NASCAR Busch Series champion. This is how his opponents will remember him.
Seeing nothing but the tail lights.
From alternators and wire sets to batteries and spark plugs, get the parts that power Dale Earnhardt Jr. AC Delco powers the winners.
A true piece of Americana is coming back to TV as team sport for the next millennium. Don't miss this one-hour documentary special, Roller Jam, Roller Derby Reborn, today at 5 Eastern on TNN.
You want off-road performance? Well, get it done right the first time at Schaefer's Off-Road and Performance. They handle simple service work and tune-ups to extreme modifications and engine performance enhancers like superchargers. Let them customize your vehicle's suspension for extreme off-roading and fabricate the look you want. They professionally install gears, lockers, as well as onboard welding systems and air compressors. You want to get there and you want to get back. Come to Schaefer's Off-Road and Performance. Look for the big Highway 50 sign, Schaefer's Off-Road and Performance.
When partying with your buds, be sure to choose a designated driver. It's the perfect pick-me-up. A message from your friends at Budweiser and O'Doul's.
Great party. The leaders are on pit road at 52 laps of 186 in this Checker 300. You're looking at Garrett Evans, the Washington driver, former Northwest Series champion, comes in for service. His crew goes to work on the right side of that machine. Let's go to Glenn Jarrett.
And I'm up in Rick Corelli. As I told you guys, first opportunity, they're going to take this opportunity to make the pit stop to change the left side tires. Try to get this car to free up just a little bit. Here's Matt.
Gary Lewis came out in pit road in second place. He was complaining his car was a little bit loose. They changed the right side tires and the stop. Pedal man has the stop sign up. He and Kevin Harvick are now on pit road.
Garrett Evans, a long stop there. Looked like they had some trouble on the right front, so the man who came in leading the event is going to come out well back in traffic. A number of cars went by him exiting pit road. Doesn't seem to matter whether it's the Winston Cup level or even in some of these other divisions of NASCAR touring competition. The pit work's critical.
Pit stop's absolutely critical here. Scott Hansen said before the start of this race today that the pit stops had aided him in all 3 of his wins here at Phoenix.
That's Tom Sweatman on pit road. Looks like they're having an awful lot of trouble on the right rear of his car. Sweatman from Cosmopolis, Washington, over on the Pacific coast of that state.
They're only allowed to change 2 tires under caution here. They try to keep the guys from outspending themselves and throwing 4 at the car every time they turn around. They can change as many as they want under green, but only 2 under caution.
Not stopping under this caution flag, Jim Englebright, who takes over the race lead as the car that brought out the caution goes back behind the wall. That's Frank Moronsky, his machine being pushed back toward the garage area, so the problem on that machine, whatever it was, apparently terminal on the day. Jim Englebright stays out and takes over the race lead, with a couple of other drivers also choosing not to pit here.
Now, this is a new grandstand and suite area in the first turn, and these are the spotters way up top. Those guys are all in radio communication with the drivers. It is the first time ever that the spotters have had the opportunity to be between turns 1 and 2 and talk to the drivers. As you can see, they're right near turns 1 and 2, but a long, long ways from turns 3 and 4. And these are the guys who say, you've got room upstairs, clear high, or you've got room downstairs, clear low, or you don't. He's there. He's there.
Or trouble in the corner.
Or trouble in the turn. These guys are the eyes in the sky, basically, for all the racers.
The yellow car there is Jim Englebright. Mentioned he stayed on the racetrack. Notable also of the 8 cars that chose not to pit, M.K. Kanky, second place in the championship standings. All the other point leaders went down pit road. Kanky stayed on the racetrack to try and get a little track position. He started back in 18th. He was running 15th at the time of the caution flag, and there you see him right now, having moved up to 3rd.
A lot of the drivers are planning on making this a 3-stop race, but in reality, given the number of miles that are here, it would be no problem making it a 2-stop race, and in theory, at least, you got to be able to make it in 1 stop, fuel-wise. They run 9.5 to 1 compression motors. These are pretty powerful engines. They have 350 cubic inches and on up to 358. Roller camshafts in them. They'll produce around 600 plus horsepower. Cars weigh 2,900 pounds with the driver. It's a pretty high horsepower to weight ratio.
There you see Garrett Evans went in first, came out 17th. Now 7 drivers didn't stop under the caution flag, so he actually lost, about 8 spots on pit road there. And he's going to have some work to do to try and get back around Gary Lewis, who will restart in the 9th position. Time to go back racing. 55 laps into the event. We get the green flag. Englebright is out in front. What appears to be smoke they're kicking up there would be residue from the oil dry that was put down going into that corner that caused, for the caution, the blown engine or something leaking out of the Frank Moronsky machine a minute ago. This is Bob Lyon and Kurt Busch racing for 5th and 6th positions as they come to the stripe. Busch stayed on the racetrack under this caution flag, the most recent one, when the other front runners pitted. So did Lyon. So they're up ahead of some of the drivers who were trying to make their way back through traffic that led in the early going. There's Kevin Harvick. He and Gary Lewis right behind him in the 72. They're the first 2 of the previous leaders who made a pit stop, now trying to pick their way back through the traffic.
Harvick's making some great moves in traffic. He dive underneath Lewis to grab that position. Lion. I was lying when I said it was Lewis.
There you go. Down the back chute into turn 3. Steve Portingay there. Up to his outside is Ronnie Burkett, driver who had been running 3rd and then 4th in the early going. You're looking ahead to Rick Corelli's machine.
3 wide. The answer is you cannot go into turn 1 3 wide successfully. There will be a crash. So someone has to either back out of it or someone has to call the wreckers. Oh,
wow.
Pardon me.
I'm coming through. Excuse me. Corelli through, Portingay through, kind of following Corelli up toward the front. They all make their way around M.K. Kanky, who started in 3rd position. He's lost a couple of spots in the first go-round. Harvick went by him a minute ago. Now Kahnke back to the 7th spot as Lewis gets by. Now here come Corelli and Portingay and Burkett. The fresher tires kind of showing themselves there.
Yeah, and at least right now, Corelli's car looks like it's handling better than it was before the pit stops.
We heard from Glenn Jarrett earlier that Corelli's handling a little bit off in the first segment of the race, so obviously whatever adjustments were made by the Remax team there have proven successful, and he continues trying to charge his way back toward the front.
Tight traffic still.
Lyon in the 44, inside of Kahnke. Picks up that spot. Here comes John Metcalf down to the inside. This is racing for 10th and 11th spots now. Metcalf trying to take 10th away. He'll do so on the backstretch.
Garrett Evans right in there in the 64 car. It took him a while in the pits. Longer pit stop, but he is making his way through traffic again.
Back in 17th when we went back racing a little while ago. Garrett Evans up to the now 11th spot. As Metcalf tries to get underneath Lyon for the 9th position. Bob Lyon, a 38-year-old from Agua Dulce, California. Been running this tour since 1987. More starts than anyone else in the Southwest Series. He's going to lose a couple of positions here, though, as Metcalf and Evans go by. There you see Evans has picked up 5 spots till the last lap around since the restart. Kahnke continues to struggle on the older tires. That's Mark Reed in the 73 now, up underneath him.
Well, it's Bruce Yackey. He is in that green car right behind him, watching all this go down.
So that's 12th and 13th spots that Kahnke's just lost. Up ahead, here comes Gary Lewis, man that led the first 41 laps of the race from the outside of the front row. Up underneath Jason Fensler for a spot into turn number 1. 3rd spot there. Lewis back to the number 3 position.
Lewis is looking very, very strong this afternoon.
He's an impressive young man. I had never met him before this weekend. Spent some time down in the garage area with him. Very impressive. He's kind of one of those that fits the mold of today's race driver. Clean cut, speaks well, appears to have an awful lot of talent for driving a fast race car.
Yeah, Gary Lewis has a mother who is his best PR agent. I went down to find a little information about him, and I didn't think his mother was going to let go of my arm until I finished 3 or 4 pages of my notes.
Jason Fensler, the 66, trying to hang on right now to the 4th position. That's Rick Corelli coming up behind him. See Fensler washing a little wide there in the middle of 3 and 4. And here comes the Colorado veteran Corelli. Look how blinding that sun is.
And that's just so far. It's going to get worse later. The drivers are all allowed to tape their windshields, but only on the inside. They're not allowed to put tape on the outside of the windshield, at least not before the start of the race.
4th and 5th positions, Fensler and Corelli as they race for that spot. Corelli taking a peek inside down in turn 4. Let's see if he can hook it up off the corner and make the move. About 140 miles an hour right there?
Yeah, anyway.
Corelli by. Here comes Ronnie Burkett, the Florida driver, by. He picks up a spot. So Corelli to 4th, Burkett to 5th, Fensler back to 6th. Corelli holds off Burkett there after Ronnie took a brief look to the inside. And they settle in single file. Well, maybe not for long.
No.
Here comes Burkett down to the inside.
See Corelli's hand on the wheel coming off the corner there, just giving it a little bit of a twitch. Car looks good right now.
Back into the shadows, turns 1 and 2 behind that new grandstand we showed you earlier. Now off onto the back straightaway through the little dog leg, the kinked left, that makes the backside of this Phoenix track unique from most of the other mile ovals around the country.
Oh, trouble.
Trouble in the corner. That's turns 1 and 2. The 0 is Nick Joannidis.
And Kevin Clark in the 07.
Joannidis involved in a spin earlier in the race. You see this time he fares significantly worse. He kind of got away clean in the early crash that was back at lap number 14. I shouldn't say crash, the early spin. That was the first caution in the race. This time, the driver from Woodland Hills, California, gets it nicked up a good bit more.
And we'll see what happened. Once it's underway, we'll see what happened at any rate. Joannidis, the guy with the lowest car number in the field, started 42nd, the furthest back of any driver in the field. This is his second incident of the day.
Hate to speculate, but since they went into that corner and were tangled up that early in the turn, you assume they made some contact going into the corner. And that results in the 5th caution flag of the Checker 300. Jim Englebright is the leader. Back with more in just a minute.
When you find yourself trying to fix something and it...
McDaniel going to the Pro Bowl for a 10th time. Leroy Horde, the changeup running back in the game. And out busts away. A great play by Horde, bouncing away from the pack and getting at least 9 yards close to the sticks before Blaine Bishop makes the stop. What depth does Minnesota offense have? We're looking at, well, Horde in recent weeks, Matthew Hatchett today. And so despite the injuries, Mo Williams out for the year, the Vikings always seem to have numbers on the offensive side of the ball.
Leroy Horde and Derek Holmes are the same guy to me. They both run really tough and physical.
Holmes of Green Bay with a big year. See them do some work on Robert Smith, 2nd and 1 for Randall Cunningham. His pass caught. Randy Moss. First down.
Bright Driver is only $19.99. And because it's from Sears, you know your satisfaction is guaranteed or your money back. The Bright Driver is perfect for all kinds of household jobs, like assembling furniture and putting up blinds. The Bright Driver comes with 2 sizes of double-ended bits, Phillips on one end and slotted on the other, plus a spare bulb. And with its charging stand, the Bright Driver is ready to work when you are. All of these features in one cordless screwdriver make the Craftsman Bright Driver a real value. And at only $19.99, a great gift, too. It's another innovative example of how Craftsman makes anything possible. When loose screws hide in the shadows, shed some light on the job with the Craftsman Bright Driver. You'll never be left in the dark again. Call now and order yours.
Have your Sears or other credit card ready and call 1-800-544-6677 to order your Craftsman Bright Driver for only $19.99 plus shipping and handling. Call 1-800-544-6677. That's 1-800-544-6677. Call now.
They're the fastest accelerating cars in the world. Their sheer power, speed, and ingenuity make drag racing one of America's most popular forms of motorsports. Follow the people behind these amazing race cars to every track on the NHRA Tour. Join host Steve Evans for the most complete look into the sport of drag racing on NHRA Today, Sunday at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific on TNN Motorsports.
Back at Phoenix, the NASCAR Featherlight Southwest Series going racing in the Checker 300. Green flag in trouble in the front stretch. Corelli's in trouble. Cars spinning and crashing everywhere. 3, 4, 5, 6 involved. Make it 7, 8, and 9 as a huge pileup on the restart. Jams the front straightaway between the inside and outside walls, and all kinds of cars torn up.
Wow, that was a big one.
All right, that is the 37 is Keith Spangler. You see his front end is heavily damaged. The thing I'm looking for out the window here is to see if any of the point leaders got caught up in that, and I don't see any of them involved. It looks like Portengay and Kanke all got through okay, and Metcalf.
18's John Baker. He's just pulling away from it. 51, Brian Hoppy was into it. His car is badly damaged. 25, John Dillon was in it.
There you see Hoppy coming out of his machine.
Oh.
And Corelli all torn up.
Yep.
Left front tire just hanging there.
He's not going to win it today.
Not a good sound from inside that race car. Tough break. Big crash on the restart. There's John Dillon, Boise, Idaho driver out of his machine. Former Northwest Series champion. Hoping for good things here today. Obviously frustrated at the turn of events. And Rick Corelli.
Look at the right front wheel. It's not turning at all.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
He's got big trouble.
Corelli running third when he crossed the start-finish line last time. Unfortunately, he was headed from the outside toward the inside wall after being swept there by another car. Glenn?
Going up. Yeah, guys, it's I'm looking at the car. The left front tire's laid way in at the top. The rear end is bent in the car. I can only see the left side. There's major damage to the right side as well. So I think he's done for the day. In fact, Rick has already pulled the window net down, and he's unbuckling right now. They carried new tires over there. They're carrying them back. No use putting those things on, paying for them, because he is going nowhere.
Tough break for Rick Corelli. And the Rookie of the Year, Kurt Busch, with some problems on his machine.
Now, how can he see where he's going at all?
Well, he probably can't.
I'll tell you what, I'd be willing to bet he's listening to his spotter right now, who is telling him, go a little left, go a little right, take it easy, turn left here.
Might even have popped the belts and have his head kind of leaning toward the window. Youngster from Las Vegas coming down pit road. He's had a fun day here today. He was involved in a spin earlier down the front stretch. Got away from that one clean. He will not this one. There's the leader, Lewis. All right, contact between Corelli and the 17. That's Darrell Lamore, who was a lap car.
Whoa, Corelli almost got upside down.
And now as they get sideways across the front stretch, remember the whole field's bunched up on the restart, and things start happening from there. Watch Corelli and Lamore here. Well,
yeah, Rick just nailed him.
Yep. Inside wall, and now here comes the problem behind him. Everybody jamming on the brakes, and they're getting turned into the wall. Now the whole track's blocked here.
A couple of head-ons going on there. Oh, look at that ride.
All four wheels off the ground.
Yeah.
Allison into the inside wall in the 42. There's Busch turned and Hoppy turned, and everything breaking loose on the front straightaway. All right, pit stops. Some of the leaders on the pit lane here at lap number 81, including the leader, Gary Lewis. Matt?
Al, the 72 car came in. They changed left side tires. He said his car was just a little bit tight, so they worked the car with stagger because these are bias ply tires, so they opened up the stagger to help the car turn into the corner. Now let's go to Glenn Jarrett.
Hey, thanks, Matt. You know, guys, I was telling you about the major suspension damage on the front of Rick's car, Rick Corelli's car. After seeing that replay, we can see why. Man, what a wild ride.
I tell you what, it was one of those deals. I tried to get on the outside of the lap car there, and, you know, he'd come up a little bit. We touched. He came off the wall, got me. It flew through the air. You know, I probably should have waited a little bit, but unfortunately we're trying to go for the win and get up front. But, you know, I've made a heck of a mess out there. I'm sorry for a lot of guys who were running out there, but it's part of racing. We got to get up there, and, you know, when you're on the outside, that stuff happens.
About set to go back racing in the Checker 300 at Phoenix International Raceway after a massive cleanup on the front straightaway. A multi-car accident on a restart with the field tightly bunched off turn 4.
That's how it started with Rick Corelli, bam, into the inside wall.
This is Ronnie Burkett back in traffic. Wow.
Nice job.
Now riding with Jim Englebright. And a little bit farther back in traffic, this was Damon Lusk's view. Can't see anything.
Well, 3 out of 4 of the in-car cameras did well in that, didn't they?
Except for Corelli. Well, Corelli didn't do well.
That's why I said 3 out of 4.
There is what's left of Rick Corelli's car behind the wall as he goes out of the race along with a few others in a multi-car accident here at Phoenix. Pace car behind pit wall. We are going racing. Steve Portingay is the leader. He stayed on the racetrack when Gary Lewis pitted under this caution.
Englebright all the way back up to 5th again after making a pit stop.
Portingay in the 14 car, point leader in the Featherlight Southwest Series. John Metcalf in the 05 running right behind him is 4th in the championship standings. There's Garrett Evans, the great Northwest runner. And Brian Germoni in the 5 creeps back into the picture. Englebright wide off that corner. On the spot as Burkett stays behind him. Englebright in 5th and Burkett in 6th. Look at that glare.
It's getting harder and harder to see going into the first turn.
And they're doing 140-something miles an hour in traffic in that kind of sun glare. Guts.
Yeah. There are times when the spotter indeed will tell the driver, turn left here.
Englebright and Burkett racing here. 5th and 6th position.
Englebright having a good run for himself. He crashed out of this event in 97. He was 5th in 96, 3rd in 95. That's his best third so far. He's running in 5th spot right now. Engelbright in the yellow car.
Ronnie Burkett trying to find a way around Engelbright. Back up front, John Metcalf in the 05 starting to apply pressure on Steve Portingay. Portingay, the point leader coming into this race, second to last of the season in the Southwest Series. Across the stripe, halfway through the race. Portingay, a two-time winner in this 1998 season. Here's Garrett Evans. Up on the outside of Metcalf, going to try and slide into the second spot around the outside. That's the hard way to do it. See if he can make it work.
Battle up front right now.
Yeah. First, second, and third. Steve Portingay, John Metcalf, Garrett Evans, nose to tail. Now Metcalf's going to venture up onto the high side. Here comes Evans down low.
Now, Portingay doesn't want to be worked on like this. A guy trying to protect the lead in a championship would just as soon not have this kind of difficult situation on his hands. But Portingay right now has no choice. He is the leader.
See Evans give way there off turn 4. I wonder if he did that when they came into the sun glare. And he just running that close to Metcalf didn't want to take a chance with this much racing to go. See, he gets real aggressive off 2. Then it looks like he was content to kind of ride with him off turn 4 and not take a chance.
Either that or he's having problems getting into the corner. Turns 1 and 2 are so different than turns 3 and 4 here at Phoenix. And there are some times when the car will run very well at one end of the racetrack and be horrible at the other end.
Evans around Metcalf up into the runner-up position. Now closing in behind Steve Portingay. Report there may be a little smoke showing from Portingay's car. Here's Evans up to the outside. This is for the race lead.
Nice job. Nice and smooth.
Thought I saw Portingay motion to him going down the backside into 3 to go to his outside, waving his, pointing his finger up to the top side of the racetrack.
Go ahead, take the spot, but if you're going to take it the hard way.
Exactly. Go around the outside. I'm not going to give you the bottom.
And he did.
And Garrett Evans up into the lead. Arden Voix, Washington. Champion of the NASCAR Ray Bestis Northwest Series on 3 different occasions. He is out in front now, just past the midway point of this checkered 300 at Phoenix. Evans leads, Portingay second, Metcalf, Engelbright, and Burkett the rest of the top 5. Back with more NASCAR action in a minute.
Ain't that right, boys? New Energizer Advanced Formula. No battery lasts longer.
Dad. EJ, 170 million. That's a record. Think it's going to change you?
Absolutely not. EJ Tucker's never been about money. EJ Tucker's never played for money, and money will not change EJ Tucker, not one iota.
Say, is that a Bud Light?
Oh, yeah, it's last one. Oh, yeah? Well, what do you say I give you $1 million for?
With a great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light.
What do you want for that watch?
Brought to you by the Motor Trend Truck of the Year, the new Chevy Silverado. It's the truck. By Intel, makers of the amazing Pentium 2 processor. By MasterCard, there are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. And by Energizer Advanced Formula Battery. No battery lasts longer.
Back at Phoenix under the caution, and the leader is on pit road. Garrett Evans comes to a stop in front of Glenn Jarrett.
And guys, this caution couldn't have come at a better time for Garrett because he had stopped back around lap 64. He could not make it on fuel, so he's got a break here. He's going to change right sides again. They changed right sides last time, right sides in fuel. These are the original left side tires. Matt?
Glenn, it's the same for Steve Portingay, the point leader. He came in fifth. He desperately needed to stop. His right side tires were completely worn out. He took on right side tires. His car was in pretty good shape. They made a slight air pressure adjustment.
Garrett Evans lost a number of spots on pit road last time he came in. Back to Glenn.
Well, I had a little problem on the right rear tire there, guys. They cross-threaded a lug nut. I saw Jim Engelbright beat him out, but I didn't see anyone else. So he didn't lose quite as many, but he still had a little bit of a slow stop for them. I think Garrett's got the car, though, to take it back on the racetrack.
He's going to come off pit road in third, fourth spot. It'll be Portingay, Lewis, Engelbright, and then Evans off the pit lane. Now let's show you why we're under the caution flag. A couple of cars get together, and it was pretty spectacular looking.
That's Tom Sweatman in the red number 10. Number 18 is John Baker. Sweatman hits him, and up in the air he goes.
And when he comes down, blows out the right front tire on the machine and couldn't get the machine to turn left to get onto pit road.
And that was a brand new race car, the number 10 was. Well, it's still a brand new race car. It doesn't look as pretty, that's all.
No, it's not brand new anymore.
It's ugly now on the other side. This side looks good.
It has received its initiation rights. So we are under the caution flag for what is now the 9th time in this race.
Kevin Harvick in the number 75 car. He's been up and down today in the pits with the problems he's had with the left front corner of that car. Still dragging fiberglass. You can see it right there.
And these are fiberglass bodies on these cars. As we look at Garrett Evans, let's go back and recap now. On his first pit stop earlier in this race, he lost a number of positions. Now this is the pit stop this time by...
Oh dear. That's supposed to be a dry brake, which means nothing is supposed to come out of there. As you can see, that is raw gasoline pouring out onto the racetrack or onto pit road. Crew member there trying to prevent it from coming out. They drop him down and... Ugh.
Now there's a spring-loaded device in there, that dry brake, that's supposed to come up and seal off the gas tank, but didn't work that time.
Usually does. They're pretty fail-safe. It's very rare that we see anything like that happen. Sometimes it'll come out the vent in the back and still coming out. It's still stuck open to a degree.
Now, if he were in a position where fuel mileage to the finish of this race were extremely critical, they'd be sweating that out big.
Yeah, but he's not going to have a problem with that. We've only at this point got 51 laps to go, and this race is all done and over with, so he should be all set.
Battered and beaten, you are looking at the leader, Kevin Harvick. Steve Portingay went in 5th, came out 2nd. Nice work there by his crew, the point leader in this Featherlight Southwest Series. You see Garrett Evans went in with the lead, comes out 5th. Lewis in 2nd, out 3rd. Engelbright in 3rd, out 4th. And Harvick, the big mover, in 4th and out in the top spot. So it's Harvick, Portingay, Lewis, Engelbright, and Evans. As we get set to go back racing, green flag is in the air.
Harvick's truck guys, his truck racing crew is pitting that car, and he wants to give him a big thank you on that round of pit stops.
See a couple of cars in front of the leaders, lapped cars there, as Harvick clears the 18 of John Baker. He was the one that was involved with Tom Sweatman in that incident off turn 2 just a minute ago that resulted in the caution flag. Comes Lewis down to the inside for 2nd, 3 wide into 1.
Portingay is running a very aggressive race for a guy with a championship at stake.
Leaders are going to come past the car that is stopped on the racetrack, and the caution flag will wave in this event. It is Chris Rodman's car. Excuse me, Craig Rodman.
Whoa.
And I would say that would be why he's not moving anymore.
Yes, that is the drive shaft, which connects the transmission with the rear end when it's in the car.
I said Chris Rodman. They are racing brothers, Craig and Chris. Both have competed very successfully on both this Featherlight Southwest Series and the Winston West Series. Craig is the one in trouble. Stopped on the racetrack in turn 3, minus a drive shaft. 10th caution of the Checker 300. We're back to Phoenix in just a minute.
I've asked Patty to show you how easy it is to use 10... Patty just dials 1010-9000 and tells the operator whose number she wants.
Leslie Weller, Denver.
The operator finds the number, even offers to dial it with no connection charge.
No connection charge? Sure, dial it for me.
With 1010-9000, it's that easy. 1010-9000, directory assistance for everyone in America.
Extreme stress, searing heat. No one can break down a motor oil faster than a police force. That's why police forces around the country use Castrol GTX.
the only leading 10W30 that provides maximum protection against both viscosity and thermal breakdown. Because some people have more important things to worry about than motor oil. Castrol GTX. Drive hard.
Hi, Tracy Bird for TNN Outdoors. I want to tell you about a great new hunting and fishing show that will take you...
McNair as he let go of the ball. 33 yards, though, is the net gain for the Oilers.
Watch McNair. He's able to buy some time, and he holds on to this for the longest time. Stays with it. Now roll to the right. He's waiting for somebody to come open. He still continues to roll when he sees it right here. And there's the throw. And what he's looking at is an area. He wants him to go back inside. Jackie Harris is able to twist his body back.
Earl Performance, Felpro, NOS, and many more. Whether it's stock, street, or strip, when the smoke clears, WMS is the only choice.
Hey, Santa, hear the one about the guy who bought a satellite dish for Christmas?
Instead of TCI digital cable?
Yeah, paid hundreds more, and he can't even get local channels without a separate antenna or extra dish. TCI digital cable. It's smarter.
Ready to go back racing at Phoenix in the Checker 300. Kevin Harvick leads. Gary Lewis is second. Steve Portingay is third. Understand he might have flipped that drive shaft that we saw come out of the Rodman car a minute ago, but Portingay stays on the racetrack and appears to be up to speed.
He got away with flipping that drive shaft without damaging his race car. He's a lucky fellow.
Portingay, third from the left on your screen. Jim Engelbright right behind him in the yellow car. Then it is Garrett Evans, who lost a number of positions on pit road a moment ago, and they had trouble on his stop. He was the leader. He's back in fifth now. Trying to work his way back to the front.
With Engelbright, he has run up with the leaders all day long. Had a nice race for himself thus far.
Harvick, the leader, missing much of the left front fender on his car. Remember earlier in the race, Matt Yoakum reported from pit road that he was having some brake problems on that car. Appears to be doing pretty well right now.
And he had the left front fender torn off it. Harvick's had a great year this year. Look at that.
That's a great sign.
This is the leading car, folks.
Yeah.
Harvick has had a great year this year. He really has. He's won 5 races in Winston West. He's won in late model racing. He's won in this series as well. Career year for him. He works on his own equipment at Spears, where he is a full-time employee. Asked him about next year. He said, I have been so busy dealing with this year, I haven't even thought about next year yet.
And that race car, as the change happens for third position, Engelbright around Portingay. The leader's race car, as torn up as it is a pretty good symbol of what this race has been like. 10 caution flags throughout the afternoon. Let's go back and take another look at that move for third by Engelbright on Portingay. This is turn 2. Ooh.
Oh, he nailed him.
See Portingay's car unload and wiggle before he got him, though? Portingay had a big wiggle and moved up the racetrack and probably had to check up on the throttle a little bit, and that's when Engelbright nipped him, and now Portingay may lose 4th spot as he's got Garrett Evans all over his back bumper.
Well, Portingay not running nearly as well as he had earlier, having a hard time hanging on to his positions right now.
Remember, we had the report that he might have run over that drive shaft that came out of the Craig Rodman car. Brought us out the yellow flag a little bit ago.
The drive shafts are very heavy steel. They very rarely go through somebody's race car without damaging something. Portingay now losing another spot.
Garrett Evans fine, picks up the 4th spot. Portingay, the point leader, back to 5th. Up front, Kevin Harvick leads, but not by much. Gary Lewis charges from behind. We'll take a break and come back with more in the Checker 300 at Phoenix.
Hi, I'm Bob Vila, and I want to show you another great innovation in Craftsman hand tools. It's the Craftsman Quick Wrench, exclusively from Sears. The Quick Wrench is a combination wrench with a unique open-end design that makes it work like a ratchet. An ordinary open-end wrench has to be removed and repositioned after every turn. But the Craftsman Quick Wrench stays in continuous contact, making the job faster and easier. It's all because of the simple ratcheting action. And the Quick Wrench works in both directions, just as fast and just as easy. You don't have to worry about the Quick Wrench slipping or rounding off nuts and bolts, because both ends have the exclusive Craftsman headlock design. It grips more on the flat sides of the nut or bolt, away from the points, which helps prevent rounding off. The Craftsman Quick Wrench is precision forged from high-carbon tempered steel for a lifetime of durability. The entire 6-piece set is only $19.99. And because it's a Craftsman hand tool made in America, it's guaranteed forever. And what about those places where a ratchet and socket won't fit? That's where the Quick Wrench really comes in handy. It's made to reach right into tight spaces, and the ratcheting action gets the job done in no time. Craftsman made the Quick Wrench up to 30% longer than conventional wrenches to give you extra leverage, more torque, and extended reach. Use that extra leverage to break bolts loose with the closed end and then quickly finish with the open end. The Craftsman Quick Wrench can be used almost anywhere, in the garage, in the yard, and in your home. No toolbox is complete without a Quick Wrench set. The Quick Wrench is a genuine breakthrough for Craftsman hand tools. Just one more example of how Craftsman makes anything possible. And because it's from Sears, your satisfaction is guaranteed or your money back.
Call now to order your set of 6 Craftsman Quick Wrenches in standard or metric for only $19.99, plus shipping and handling. Use your Sears card or other credit card and call 1-800-924-7733. That's 1-800-924-7733. Call right now.
Back at Phoenix in the Checker 300, you're looking at the race for the lead. Kevin Harvick in the 75, Gary Lewis in the 72. Lewis right up on the bumper as we work toward the closing stages of this race. Lewis led the first 41 laps of the race. Then he led 10 more from laps 71 to 81. Shuffled back into the field on pit stops. Now here he comes down to the inside.
Lewis has got it. A couple of youngsters there. Lewis is 29 years old. Harvick, 22 years old. Harvick coming back on the inside after him again.
Got the fender there. Through the dogleg on the back straightaway. Strong horsepower on the Harvick machine. He draws even and retakes the lead into 3.
So far. Here comes Lewis. Nope.
Maybe that goes back to what you said earlier in the race, Dick, about one car handling better in 1 and 2 and another handling better in 3 and 4.
Yeah. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 now are so much different because we've got sun in 3 and 4. It is very dark in 1 and 2. Brian Germoni in the 5 on the bottom. That is for 6th spot. Portengay continues to slip further and further back. Yackey has taken his position again.
That is Bruce the Moose Yackey in the number 12 machine. Greeley, Colorado, builds race engines for a living. And Steve Portengay, the point leader, falling off the pace quite considerably from what he had been running earlier in the event.
You see Doug McCown coming into your picture in car number 34. He's having a good run today. Much better run than he had here last year in this race. He had one of the worst crashes of his entire career here last year at Phoenix. Hit the wall so hard he cracked his sternum, bruised his heart. It's a rough wreck.
High-speed racing can be high-speed thrills, chills, spills. That's the word, spills. Here's the lead. Gary Lewis up underneath Kevin Harvick. Back straightaway. Very evenly matched race cars, obviously.
46 of Matt Crafton has just gone down pit road, smoking a lot, and he can't get back out. He will be the 20th retiree this afternoon.
Jim Engelbright, look at the hood flapping on the right front corner of that machine. That's the 3rd place driver. Looks like one of the hood pins is missing or broken off or something.
Yeah, and that's going to hurt him as well. That's an aerodynamic problem.
This is racing for the lead moments ago. Ooh,
pardon me?
Contact there. Hello. Like Lewis tried to get up underneath Harvick off turn 4. Now you see Lewis out in front. As they cross the start-finish line, head back into turn number 1. There's the Crafton machine.
That doesn't look good at all, does it?
No, sir. And you see the youngster taking off the steering wheel. He will begin to climb out of the machine. Tough break there. Got his first win in the Featherline Southwest Series earlier this season. And there's that right front corner of the Jim Engelbright machine. Now that when he got together with Portingay, we showed you a little while ago.
Could be.
Sheared off the top of the hood pin or something like that, and you see that is not going to last for long like that, especially not one of the fiberglass hoods. M.K. Kanky, second in the championship. Unscheduled pit stop under the green flag. Lap 150, 36 to go. Boy, that's tough. Came into the race 37 points down. And they are going to the back of the car. Looks like the left rear tire. Changing the left rear tire. Couldn't see if it was flat when it came off the machine.
He and Portgay have been swapping weeks with bad luck. Back and forth and back and forth. This time it's Kanky's turn.
And a long stop.
There's Portgay.
Steve on the racetrack.
He's 8th.
Right now in the top 10. Let's go to Matt Yoakum.
Alan, you talked about that drive shaft laying on the racetrack earlier. Steve Portingay did indeed hit it with his left front tire. They believe the problem on the 14 car now is the toe has been knocked out. He's just going to try to soldier home and get a much-needed top 10 finish.
Well, especially with Kanky on pit road having problems in losing points. You see dropping from second to third in the standings. If you were to calculate it based on where they run right now.
And Brian Germoni is in 5th spot right now, and he is a contender for that championship as well.
Kanky, after the green flag pit stop, comes back on the racetrack in 16th position. So maybe because of the number of cars that have fallen out of the race, the troubles aren't quite so damaging as they might have been if we still had a more full field running in the late going. You look at Gary Lewis of Washington State. He's out in front of the Checker 300. We're moving toward the final laps here at Phoenix. Back to the finish in a minute.
Every day I wake up, pour myself a cup of that rich Folgers aroma. The best part of waking up, it's the do-up in all I do. The mountain goat aroma always coming through. Oh, the best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup. The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup.
Great. Man, that tune-up.
These AC Delco parts are about the most dependable you can buy. They should really help improve your performance.
Come on, they're all the same. I'll take some out of this bushel basket.
Okay.
AC Delco. No matter what you drive, if you're not asking for it, you're asking for it.
Grady & Son make the sweetest steaks around, the Gazette. Grady & Son's marinade gives their steaks zing, the Gazette. Grady & Son cherish the secret to their tangy marinade, the Gazette.
Our secret is A1 sweet and tangy.
Grady and daughter make the sweetest steaks around, the Gazette. The secret to great steak isn't just for great steakhouses anymore. A1, a marinade, a seasoning, a 136-year-old secret.
I think of myself as a supportive mom. Go Vikings! Joey counts on me to be there for the whole game.
Win one for Mom, Joe!
Even when I have a sore throat.
Joey! Touchy Peterson, I know your mother!
So I count on Chloroseptic. 5 sprays gives me fast, long-lasting relief, so I don't have to miss a second of the game.
All right, kids, we're going into overtime. Let's kick some Cougar butt!
Chloroseptic, 5 sprays for instant relief that stays. Yay, Chloroseptic.
They're the fastest accelerating cars in the world. Their sheer power, speed, and ingenuity make drag racing one of America's most popular forms of motorsports. Follow the people behind these amazing race cars to every track on the NHRA Tour. Join host Steve Evans for the most complete look into the sport of drag racing on NHRA Today, Sunday at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific on TNN Motorsports.
In the late going at Phoenix in the Checker 300. Sun beginning to set on a late afternoon. And you see the visibility is getting a little bit touchy from behind the windshields of those cars.
We're in Damon Lust's car right now, and as you can see, he's got his gauges lit up. That's about the brightest thing there is there. Germoni's just passed him on the inside.
Germoni running in 4th place right now to the leader, Gary Lewis. Across the start-finish line, 9 laps to go in the race. It is Lewis leading Jim Englebright and Garrett Evans. You see the gap between the two. Those are the top 3. Lewis there on the left. Now Englebright and Evans coming into the picture. Here's Evans down the inside for 2nd.
Well, it's time to go for it. He certainly knows that that 20 car of Englebright has got a problem. Garrett Evans on the inside.
Drag race to the stripe. Evans with the preferred line into turn 1. Little hard into the corner, washes up the racetrack, but Englebright isn't able to make the move underneath him, and Garrett Evans goes to 2nd into the final laps. Problem is now he's an even 2nd behind Gary Lewis, though the leaders have a pack of lap traffic up ahead of them that they'll probably encounter here as we work these final 7 laps of the race. This is the race for 6th as Steve Portingay tries to hang on to Bruce the Moose Yackey. Portingay, though, now a lap down to the race leaders, being shown back in 10th spot. Yackey running in 6th position, and he is the last car on the lead lap.
Portingay just hanging on at this point.
And that's a position he just lost there to Baker, the 18 Tucson driver. John Baker just went around Portingay, kicked Steve, the point leader coming into the race, back to the 11th spot. There's Baker, having been involved in an incident earlier that got that left front fender wrinkled up on the machine. There are the top 2 coming into the event of the championship standings, Portingay and Kanky. Kanky's another lap down. He's 2 down after that unscheduled green flag stop. About to be 3. As the leader, Gary Lewis, comes up behind these 2 drivers. A little 3 wide here down the front stretch.
Harvick, who had led so much of this race earlier, is out of it. He's behind the wall.
Looking at Gary Lewis's dad, watching as his son tries to hang on over these final laps. Be 5 to go. Or 5 to go, excuse me. Be 4 to go when he comes back to the start-finish line this time. Lewis in the 72. Evans in the 64. Top 2 drivers in NASCAR's Northwestern Tour this season. Revesta's Northwest Series. Lewis winning the title, Evans finishing right behind him. And here they are invading the Southland and running 1 and 2 at Phoenix in the late going.
Lewis has picked up an exhaust leak. You can see the fire underneath the race car. That's not anything that's a particular problem, other than someone's going to need to weld the exhaust system back together again before he races again.
Ooh, big wiggle there for Lewis up off 4.
I think everybody's pretty much wiggling now. They've got a lot of laps on these tires. Race is winding down. Racetrack greasy from all the crashes that have happened here so far.
Here comes Evans right up on Lewis's back bumper. Lewis loose in 2 as well. Evans by for the race lead. Inside of 3 to go.
And Englebright is there as well in the 20 car. Is he going to get him too?
Lewis not trying not to give up. 2 to go to the stripe. Garrett Evans, Gary Lewis, Jim Englebright, 1, 2, and 3. Lewis has led so much of this day. The handling in his car obviously going away. Big wiggle there. May have just ended his chance to win.
Lewis is trying to hang on to that 2nd spot at this point. Nothing he's going to be able to do with Evans. Evans is checking out. Here comes Englebright on the bottom.
This is the race for 2nd as Garrett Evans takes the white flag. 1 lap to go in the Checker 300. Englebright inside of Lewis for 2nd and 1. Drag racing back around to the start-finish line. Englebright inside, Lewis outside. All this going on behind Garrett Evans, who will pull away in the final 2 laps. There he is in the blue car off turn number 4. Checkered flag. Garrett Evans wins the Checker 300 at Phoenix. The veteran from Washington State comes from behind, takes the lead with just a couple of laps to go, and scores the win here at Phoenix in the Checker 300. Evans, Lewis, Englebright, Germoni, and McCown, the top 5. There's your winner. We're back to Phoenix to meet him in a minute.
Where'd it go? The year's almost over. Wasn't this the year things were going to be different? You were going to pay off all those credit cards, get out of debt, and stop worrying so much? Well, now you've got a brand new year. Call the Money Store. Get a home loan. Get back on track. You'll have a check in your hands in no time at all. A brand new year. A brand new start.
The Money Store. 1-800-LOAN-YES.
It's cold.
My throat, it's so sore. Who gave you this cold?
You gave it to me.
You gave it to me. You got it.
Enough. We gotta keep moving here. I'll take it, Dayquil.
Take it what?
You know, NyQuil for night.
Dayquil for day.
I'm taking these. I won't touch your cough or headache.
We'll see. Like the complete relief of NyQuil? You'll love non-drowsy Dayquil.
Oh, you guys are doing great.
Dayquil, the non-drowsy, congested, stuffy head, sore throat, coughing, aching fever, so you can get through the day medicine.
Every time you start your car, you're waging a war against friction. The battle lines are drawn. Now, how are you going to fight back? Duralube Advanced Engine Treatment protects your car's motor like nothing else on the market can. It's like a shield against engine-damaging friction. Win the war against friction and get the maximum protection for your car's engine with Duralube. Duralube, tomorrow's technology today.
Introducing the Nissan Frontier V6. With shift-on-the-fly four-wheel drive and 200 foot-pounds of torque. It's the perfect truck for those really big jobs. The Nissan Frontier V6.
Garrett Evans has driven to victory lane. We kept talking during the telecast about written on the hood of that car, never give up, and boy, you didn't, but you waited until the last possible minute.
Well, I'd really like to thank a couple of guys who really turned my program around. Last year, Richie Bickle and Phil Hammer come aboard and helped us a little bit over there at Concord. Got us really straightened out, and we've been running good ever since.
Well, Garrett, the car looked like it was pretty steady, but the 72 car had some problems there at the end, you could see.
I don't know about that. We had some problems in the pits, but the Keith Dorton Automotive Specialist motor ran good, and Wayne Lindsay from Left-Hander helped her out real good with the chassis, and career shocks worked real good.
Garrett Evans victorious here at Phoenix. Back up to you, Alan.
All right, Garrett Evans, 42-year-old from Ardenvois, Washington, picks up the win in the Checker 300 as we take a look at the results from the event. Evans, the winner, taking the lead for just the final couple of laps. Lewis had to hang on for second. Englebright gets third. Brian Germoni with a top 5 run and helping himself in the championship standings. And how about Damon Lusk coming from all the way back in 35th position to get 9th?
Yeah, and Mears fought his way up there, too.
Portingay 11th at the finish after struggling with the front end of his car all askew after hitting a drive shaft. John Metcalf dropped out of the race with mechanical troubles midway through. He was one of the other championship contenders. And you look at the rest of the rundown from today's Checker Auto Parts 300. Final thoughts, Dick?
This was a slugfest, an absolute slugfest, a race of attrition. Evans, an incredible job, did really, really well. Hats off to Lewis for hanging on to that thing at the tail end, but it was such a handful.
Short track stars from all over the United States came to Phoenix today to compete for the win, and it was a man from the Pacific Northwest who will take the trophy home. Garrett Evans scores the Checker 300 at Phoenix International Raceway. Make the drive all the way back home up into the Northwest a little bit more pleasant. So that wraps it up for this afternoon from Phoenix International Raceway. As the daylight fades away, we thank Glenn Jarrett and Matt Yoakum for their work down in the pit and garage areas. For Dr. Dick Berggren, Alan Bestwick saying so long from Phoenix. Garrett Evans has won the Checker Auto 300 for the NASCAR Featherlight Southwest Series today.
My Classic Car, next on TV.